Hi, my name is Jakob Munck, and this video is about Jim Morrison. Do you know Jim Morrison? He was the front singer of a very famous American rock group called The Doors. Unfortunately, Jim Morrison, he died in 1971. He was born in 1943. So you can calculate that he died very young. He didn't exactly take his own life, but his lifestyle was so extreme that he would know that before or later he would die. He died in Paris and is buried at the La Francaise, sorry, my bad French, cemetery in Paris. I visited the grave myself. I put flowers on his grave, and a lot of other people do the same every day around the year. Well, the story of Jim Morrison was that he was born in California. His father was an admiral in the American Navy, so he was never home. He was sailing around the world with his ships. So Jim Morrison, he grew up nearly without a father at all. He had only his mother and his sister, and he was rather intelligent. He read a lot of books, but he didn't know what to do. Probably he could have been a sailor just like his father. He could have taken some normal education, but he didn't want to do that. So he started up a rock group. He was a poet. He wrote a lot of poems, very good text, and actually had a very nice voice too. So of course he was a front singer of this rock group. And this rock group was famous all over USA and all over the world in a very short time. They have a lot of big hits. L.A. Woman was one of the hits I remember. And now here I have my little Wikipedia story about Jim Morrison. I can show you how he's looking. He's looking like that. Yes. And he was very interested in French literature, American literature, and any kind of literature. And he wanted to be a poet. But now he was a rock singer and sex icon instead, because all the girls, they were just crazy about Jim Morrison. He was sex symbol number one. I don't know who had the responsibility for that, but I'm not sure if Jim Morrison wanted to be a sex symbol, because it became too much for him. He started up drinking, he started up using narcotics, a different kind. I can't tell you the details, but when he died in 1971, according to the police report, it was because of a mixture of alcohol and drugs. That was what killed him in Paris. And I think first of all the life of Jim Morrison is a tragedy. He was so much interested in everything about life and death. He was an existentialist, I would think. He had no religious interest at all. He was just living his life very intensive. He had a lot of girlfriends, and when you have a lot of girlfriends, your life is unstable. And when you have a lot of drugs and alcohol, your life is even more unstable. And if you travel around the world with a rock group and a lot of groupies, your life is even more unstable. And you just can't be a happy man with an unstable life. That is not possible. To be really happy, you have to live in celibacy. You have to live without drugs, without alcohol. only eating a little, and with a strict rule, a strict plan for what you want to do in your life. So you can be a happy man if you are a soldier, because then someone else is telling you what to do. You can also be a happy man without being a soldier, but then you need to have this very strong discipline in your own head and your own body. And I'm sorry to say, but Jim Morrison was a very weak person, and he didn't have this strength. Therefore, he just went down, down, down. Of course, he earned a lot of money. Of course, he had a lot of girlfriends. Of course, he was popular all over the world. But he didn't have a father. And he didn't have any specific purpose with what he was doing. He was trying to be a poet, but actually he was a sex symbol, maybe some kind of porn star before pornography was even made legal in America and in Scandinavia. And he visited us here in Scandinavia too, and had, of course, great success. All the Danish girls want to have sex with Jim Morrison, but that didn't make him any more happy. So in the end, he could just as well have taken his life, and maybe that is what he actually did. No one really knows, because he took a lot of drugs and he drank a lot of alcohol. And he was an intelligent man, so he must have known that this mixture will make your heart break. It will kill you. And that's what it did. Jim Morrison, he died. I'm sorry to say that Jim Morrison died, because he could have been a great international poet, a great artist, a big cultural icon, a representative of the youth culture in USA. He could have been anything. But because he didn't have any control of his own life, he just went down, 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 and lost everything instead. And what can we learn from Jim Morrison? Because it is many years since he died. Today we have other persons living just about the same way. Their life is going the same way. I'm sorry to say, and I don't want to mention any names, but here in Denmark, in US, everywhere in the Western world, we have young people choosing to kill themselves because they are so confused about everything. They don't have any values. They don't have any stable family structure. They don't have a purpose with their own life. And when you don't have a purpose with your own life, then you can't be happy. In some way or another, you will be sick, and there will be a high risk for that you will end your life the same way as Jim Morrison did. So therefore, let's honor Jim Morrison and all the other persons that has lost their life the same way. Let's honor him. Let's learn from him. I believe maybe he's sitting up in the heaven and looking down on this world, on you and me. And he wants us to live our life in a better way than he did. And to live our life a better way is to learn the value of asceticism, celibacy, and the rule of law. The rule of law. And this law I'm talking about, it's not the law of the civil government. It's the law of the Supreme God. Thank you.